Howdy boys and girls, this video is going to be a little bit long. Also, I have to be really quick. The intro is long. If you want to skip it to this time. Thank you very much, and I will let you all enjoy TF2 Lover for Life. Bye-bye. Oh, hey, what are you guys doing here? I didn't actually expect to be recording this early. Well, this is interesting. Hold on real quick. Where's my notes? What am I doing? Oh, yeah, that's right. Anyways, hello guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be talking about TF2 Lover for Life, a channel I found and seriously need some assistance on. I'll be talking a little bit more about what I have in store for this video, but for now, I wanted to explain that this channel is definitely still going, and I recommend you guys check it out. There's a bunch of different things from the Discord to even other things like all of that. I mean, like seriously, there's a bunch to this channel. I honestly recommend it. The link in the description for that channel will be down there. I can't point because, well, you know what game I'm playing, but I wanted to talk about it because this channel is the most unique thing I've ever seen or even heard of. So let me explain why that is, and let me explain some other things that actually go with the channel. Let's move on to our next part and explain it. Oh, hey, there you are. I swear, this camera just moved. Anyways, what is TF2 Lover? Well, TF2 Lover is by a player by the name of TF2 Lover. He actually ends up finding out that his game or games is haunted by what we'll call an entity or entities. They're able to make SFM animations all the way up to actually causing the game to crash. We also know some other things like which entity is worse than another. There is three main ones, which we'll get into in just a minute, but the biggest one we need to worry about is called the Sniper. I know how original of us to actually name something the Sniper. Now, there is a Discord with some people that have already made everything, so check out the Discord channel. I'm not going to link that. I think you should honestly find it yourself, because I think it's the most interesting thing possible. But there's also other things, like Google Docs, BSP files, everything else. But I digress. There's a lot to the story that I will go into, and I'll explain that in just why we need to kind of go over everything in sections. Okay, so why am I going everything in a section? Why is everything going to be in a section? Well, that's a very good question that you guys are going to be asking me. You see, I'm an idiot. That's the basics of it. I'm really just an idiot. I honestly don't understand anything when it comes to this sort of stuff, and I really don't understand how an ARG works. Yeah, you heard me, an ARG. This channel is an ARG. To what I can understand what an ARG is. Okay, so the definition of an ARG is this. Wait, what do you mean we can't afford that? Nick, we can't afford... Okay, fine, we can't afford that. But an ARG is an augmented reality game, meaning that it is from an alternate reality. And I said augmented, sorry, I meant alternate, whatever. Anyways, it's from a different universe, and where a player ends up dealing with stuff. And these are our entities. I mean, look at that. That's a crazy amount of entities we got here. There's only really three, but there's a fourth one, and it should pop up any minute now. But oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. All right. Why is it? Sure. Anyways, there's a lot of different stuff to get into. With this channel, I'm also going to be focusing on important videos, not anything else. I'm not focusing on any of the dumb stuff or any of the filler episodes, as I'll call them, because I mean, we're just talking anime logic now. But anyways, we will only be talking about the important stuff. I've also made a Google Slides. It's there in the link in the description below, so you can actually follow along to the videos I'm actually going to be talking about. Now, there is parts to this channel as well, and I'm only going to be talking about parts 1 in more detail than I will parts 2, but I will be actually involving part 2 in my theory because, well, it's a theory. Anyways, I'm just going to move on to the next part. Okay, now that I'm over here, I can finally explain what sort of entity this is. What is the Sniper? I feel like I was supposed to die here, but I didn't. Anyways, the Sniper is basically an entity that can actually cause the game to crash, to even cause other stuff to end up happening that we have no idea about. It can do other things, which I'll go into later without spoiling it. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that this Sniper can do. But why is that? what did the player do in order to cause this sort of issue? That's a different story for later, because honestly, I don't know, and I still don't know, and my theory will probably be wrong in the next 2 months. But I want to state again, I am not an ARG channel. I never have, never will, never want to. But if I end up making another video about this, please understand that I've lost my fucking mind. I've actually been spending weeks upon weeks, and here's even some Discord shots that actually showcase that. I mean, I'm losing my goddamn mind right now talking about this channel, and I'm in Gmod. I shouldn't be this terrified, but apparently my brain cells are thinking, hey, spooky ghost might jump at you. You want to see one? Hi. Anyways, I digress. Without further ado, let's get into what my reasoning is for this channel. Alright, so we know what the entity is. We know we're not running away from a black figure. Go figure, the blackness in us is already dead inside. But anyways, what exactly is TF2Lover? Why are the entities hostile? What is going on in this channel? Well, it's time to start on the channel with the very first video we ever see. First encounter. I want to just state again to go check out the channel before even coming back, because this is a theory, and a theory video should always, have you guys watch the original content first before coming back. But anyways, I digress. Chip cheerio! Medic! Okay, so what's going on? We know that this is the very first video uploaded on the TF2Lovers story. What's happening in his game? Why is he alone? Why is there a scout? These are questions we actually don't have. Even the fact case scenario, we don't even have an answer of why, when capping the point, he ended up moving into a different area. Why did he move into a different area? Was there something that we have no idea? Was this sniper thing haunting it? Well, we still don't have answers. Again, this is the very first video, so there will never be a physical answer. With this Google slide that I've created, I've also asked a question in what's going on, and all I can infer in this very first video was that something was wrong with either the game or the AI, maybe even players' spawnage, but we never see anybody else at all. Maybe there's more information in the second Google slides, the second encounter. Okay, we just got a lot of information that we actually don't even have an answer for. We actually know that the sniper is shooting at the wall. And now in 2-4, there's actually a wall where the windows sit, that normal snipers sit at. And that's what I'm kind of showcasing here. But something to mention is he's shooting the metal, either the metal wall or the metal face. Now, which one he's exactly shooting, though, is really unknown. There's really not a better way to state that. But even then, though, after TF2 kind of chases after him with no clip, he ends up disappearing to the next zone in the bottom left of the door. It's pretty interesting to kind of see that, because afterwards we actually know what ends up happening to TF2. He dies with the sniper saying tar. I think that's what the word is, but it just leads to my question. Why didn't the sniper hit him? Why didn't the sniper hit TF2? Was it trying to prove something? Was it trying to show TF2 something? What was the sniper trying to prove? Why was he missing? Why did he only hurt him after he went through the red building? Why? Okay, this is an SFM, and we already know that, but I also need help here, because the ending is kind of where I'm stuck at. I believe that this might actually be some sort of audio thing, like a spectrogram, but I don't really know where to find one to download and test that myself. Another thing to mention is that the spy just flies to the red sniper, and again, we have this motif that the red sniper is constantly an enemy. We've seen it twice before, and here he is again, just getting attacked by a no-clipping spy. Go figure. Something very important, though, is the description. In the description of the video, we actually showcase what might end up be in there. Something very, very important to us. And that is, the spy goes to the skies. I hate the sniper. He's the worst class. 2 OP. And that is something we'll have to remember for later, because this will come back and actually come to bite us in the butt. Okay, now I have a question for the creators, and this is actually my biggest question. Are you sad that the Half-Life incident is one of your most favorited videos? That's my only question. That's about it. Let's talk about the Half-Life incident. Something very important, and a sound that actually is reoccurring too. Okay, so what the hell just happened? We just saw a security guard with a blocked off area just to attack us? What's going on? Even in the description, TF2 is a literally confused. Just got Half-Life to take a break from TF2, but I think that thing followed me. Can't even escape it in other games. It made my game crash when it got me. I have no clue what it is, but it is definitely that sniper entity. Pretty sure it didn't know I was recording when it attacked. Something else to mention is this security guard the same thing as the sniper? Does that mean that the sniper can jump from game to game? But how could it jump from game to game? These are questions we actually don't have answers to even to now. I mean, yeah, there might be an answer, but an answer I haven't solved yet. Maybe our next video would actually shed some more light on everything. Maybe, just maybe, we would get some news.
Hello everyone, TF2Lover here. I wanted to have a little chat with you all today. Lately I've noticed... lately you noticed that sniper. That bloody listen, I'm dubbing the sniper as the entity. Because, well, it's not only a sniper, but it seems that it hates me so much that it's taking the form of my least favorite class, and I can't deal with it at all. I'm forced. It's not just something normal. It's following me into SFM, TF2. It hasn't followed me into Half-Life 2. I'm gonna take that as my safe place. We haven't tried Counter-Strike yet, although it's most likely gonna follow me into Counter-Strike as well. But I'm hereby starting the investigation, which I will be dubbing the entity. Real creative, I know. So whatever this entity is, we're gonna take it down and make sure it don't come back. It don't see anything I have. I'm afraid that considering this entity is following me through games, someone told me that it also has access to everything, including that it has access to all the files of the games, which makes me think, what else could it mean? I'll see you guys in the next video, but this is gonna take a toll on my regular content. You won't see as much SFMs, mainly because, you know, the entities in SFMs. I haven't tried a Gmod yet, though, so I think that would be interesting.
Okay, so this is very just on the nose. Some news is just basically TF2 talking about he is going to hunt this thing, the entity itself. I just want to hopefully see this thing get captured. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But I digress. Maybe our next video would actually shed some light. Maybe our next video of returning to Half-Life 1.
Freeman. It's not our fault.
Okay, maybe returning to Half-Life wasn't the smartest idea. Now, the actual sound that we hear is pretty interesting, but even then, though, the even biggest, most interesting thing about this video is the fact in case scenario that the security guard set up a trap. We also don't have any noises from doors or anything like that, only the sounds of our footsteps, which is also interesting. Something else to mention is the floor is glaring. I think that's the term to use here. Where whenever a floor is overbrightened, it could show a dark spot. Maybe the saturation is thrown off, but it's really interesting just to see all of these things in this video. Another thing to mention is that he's the only character. This one scientist is the only character we see throughout the whole thing before we see the security guard entity. We actually don't really know if this is the sniper. It'd be pretty crazy, but even the ending is just something weird. Now, my question for this video was, is this thing different from the sniper, or is it the same? Can it shapeshift? That we really don't know, and it might become worse if we end up finding out that it can shapeshift. Alright, maybe that wasn't a good idea. Maybe Gmod Spooky Crash is a better idea. Okay, maybe that wasn't the best idea. Alright, so what exactly happens in Gmod Spooky Crash? Well, we actually have the reoccurring sound from before. A Half-Life 2 zombie groaning and moaning. Now, this is pretty interesting, but to kind of explain one question I had was, why does this sound exactly like the Half-Life thing? Is it the same entity or is it different from the sniper? Was there actually something in the dark room or was it just noise? So what I mean by that is, can we actually increase the brightness of the video in order to see if there's something standing at the beginning of the door? Is it just noise? Some other things to mention is sound. Sound is very much used multiple times here, but this is the same sound we've heard 3 times. I wonder if this is the sniper entity, or maybe if it's just something else to mention. Who knows? Maybe our next video about the sniper entity would actually be a good choice to look into. Okay, so the sniper was waving to who and why? Why was the sniper waving? What's all going on? Why did the sniper be able to no-clip? Is this actually the entity or something to throw the character and player off from the beaten path? A question I actually had was, what is the sniper trying to show TF2? Is this a form of communication? Is the sniper proving a point? Why couldn't he be even hurt or damaged at all? Something I want to mention is when shot, normally you have a blood splatter, kind of something that showcases that you hit them, but you can't see it in this video at all, and it's very, very interesting. Even some important evidence to bring up is this sniper is moving smoothly throughout the map without any issue. It seems the property of the sniper is completely non-existent. Maybe that's why it can't be damaged, but then why not any blood splatter? Okay, maybe this is all a little bit too much. The sniper is really much more than what we're thinking of it. Maybe our next video, TF2 is normal again, would explain it. Editor's note, I'm not showing all, I'm just going to show the last minute and a half.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so something I want to mention too is I didn't showcase the whole video because it's actually like 9 minutes long. That's the real thing. But something I want to actually state is at the ending. At 8:03, TF2 states that everybody needs to go medic, only then to have most of the bots change within the last 20 seconds of the video to medic. So that leads me to answer and ask a question. Why can the bots hear TF2? Are the bots actually controlled by Sniper? Are these other entities? Is it even an entity? These are questions we actually don't have even now. But something to mention is that it was just stated in chat, not over voice chat, not nothing else, not even in the code. All of these entities just changed immediately. Was our character kind of like an interloper where it's just a bot itself playing a game? These are just things that we don't end up knowing, and it's leading me to actually think that there might be some more things going on in the world.
Maggots!
Okay, so Mia is just a short little thing where a soldier just says maggots. Now, a question I had, which is very, very interesting, is can all entities stay the same, or can they shapeshift into different ones? Now, I have an answer on here that I'm going to leave for now and come back to a little bit later, but some very important detail to remember is that this video comes back at the end of part 1. So remember this for when we move on. Okay, I'm going to show this from the slides point of view because, well, this is pretty obviously just a short little video. TF2 actually asked us to give questions, and this is important because this will come up later on, like way past when part 1 basically is over with. But some important evidence to remember is that these questions are going to be answered later, and some of the questions are actually here on the Google Slides. We can actually read some of those, and I'm going to thank these people for having these questions. I didn't get the time to ask them all during the creation of this video, but hey, you guys are absolutely amazing. One very important question to remember is one of these, but I won't get into that until later, so let's move on. Okay, now we're going to move into something very, very interesting. Spy dance. Now, if you guys want to, you can pause this whole thing, but I'll showcase this when we get to it.
Ты не знаешь эту песню? Давай пой со мной! I love my sandwich. I love the singing songs. I love the Uber. I love to drink and porn. When we together become a rare song. I hate you, call me fat. We got a stupid hat. To play drunk again because you play bad. I love my sentry. I love the racket grip. I love the Spencer.
I'm sucking all that shit.
Don't be an idiot. For me, you're just a me.
Nice job.
What, Mike? Good work.
Okay, so from the actual thing, we can actually go down to the description and find this key phrase. Now, this is actually Kirawanda, and I think that's how you pronounce it. On the Google Slides, you can actually see what it's spelled like, and when translated to English, it states, "Let's get to know you." Also, something else to mention was the closed captioning that I had on as well, that also says, "You love la 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 la," and music 4 times. Now, that's probably not as important as other things, but I think it's just interesting. My only one question I have for the creator is, can I use the song? That's it. I would love to use the song. I'm using it for channel purpose, but can I use that on like my videos? Do I have permission? Is that all right with you? I mean, I'll even link it down in the link description below. I don't care. Can I use it? Let's get to the most important video ever. This magically appeared out of nowhere on TF2Lovers channel, and this is called Entry. Okay, so what happened? Well, we know that this is a scout and that he's looking around, but then he gets hit by something, and that's really hard to state. Also, where is the scout at? What map is this? There's no way we even have an answer to it. But then he hits the floor and then despawns. It's really hard to state, but he falls through the map. This whole thing is really interesting and unique, but then once hitting the floor, you hear a tar and a bunch of used icons. I don't really know exactly what's going on, but who is this? Who uploaded this? Who even hit the entity? I mean, this is important for later, and we'll actually might have a story built around this video, but for now, we actually don't have an answer to who, why, when, where, and what. Maybe our next video, Entity Captured, will actually showcase that. What's going on? There's absolutely no music also, so I'm gonna leave it like that just to give the benefit without the doubt that, hey, that's scary. But we have this red sniper in this video. Why is the red sniper with red glasses? What's going on with his face? And why is the blue heavy, TF2's favorite class, even here? All questions that we don't have answers to, except for what happened to the heavy. You see, something that I want to mention is the part where Heavy ends up getting destroyed, eaten. I don't really know what to state, but he ends up just disappearing with the sniper kind of looking in that general facility where the Heavy was. Hey, guess what? We have another key point that makes no sense, but only makes more sense as time goes on. And also, the other fact to mention is TF2 never made this at all. Even in the comment section, he even states it. I did not upload this. What the hell? Something else to mention is that this might not be the only time we'll end up seeing this, so hopefully it ends up showcasing. Another thing I should bring up is the ending. The very last second of the whole video, we actually see 3 snipers outside of this box. Does that mean the sniper can actually multiply? Does that mean the sniper has more than just one of him? What else is this entity not showing us? A question I did have, which is the sniper showing us something that only TF2 will understand? How did the sniper actually end up here? And why did it multiply at the end? Also, another great question to ask was, does it need to eat in order to survive? Maybe that's why it had the heavy dead. Maybe the heavy just despawned out of the way. We actually really don't understand what's all going on. Maybe our next video, returning to 2 Fort, actually shows us this answer. Okay, so 2 Fort is completely fine. What about 2 Fort ends up being interesting? Well, that's not the actual reasoning. You see, if you scroll down, it'll actually showcase some binary, and when translated, it actually showcases a video that's actually up on the Google Docs right now called Replication. Now, while replication isn't the video I want to be focusing on, it's absolutely necessary to focus on returning to 2 Fort and then come to replication immediately. This is replication. Okay, so what happened? Why is replication even a thing? The sniper is to have an ability to change its shape and form from itself to a scout, the medic, only to have what we would never think of or thought of, the blue heavy. This is bad, actually, since we know what our favorite class is for TF2. Well, their favorite class. It's the blue heavy. And even in our last video, Entity Captured, we actually know what ends up happening to said blue heavy. It gets killed. The only reasoning you would actually have this is because it would be something very important. And even then though, this is an unlisted video as well, and it is the most important thing we will actually go into, because that means that we actually know there is other characters that the sniper has eaten before. Now, why now? Why have the heavy be the actual main thing? That's something we actually don't know. But what is the entity showing us? Why does it want to show us this? What does it want with these characters? Was it trying to prove a point to us that it is stronger than TF2? What the hell is going on? The important evidence is all within the Google Slides. It's all there. We have no idea what's happening, and this sniper is allowing this to happen. Maybe our next video, a longing, will actually prove our point a little bit more. Alright, what is going on? Hey, also, one more note. Just remember this map for later. For people that don't know, this map is actually Dust Bowl, and I even sat down and figured it out myself. That was 30 minutes of my life I spent doing that also. I went through hundreds of maps, and I was for sure Dust Bowl. But it's Dust Bowl. So, something to mention is where we're located. Now, if you guys actually know the space, you guys might remember where exactly we're showcasing it. Spy Dance. And we'll get into that in just a little bit, because the next couple of videos will kind of showcase this. But something to mention is, why does the sniper want everything dead or eaten? I guess you can state it. It's kind of hard to state it into words, but why does the sniper want to hurt things than help things? And also, is the sniper really defensive to TF2? Is the sniper just trying to defend TF2 while these other entities are trying to harm TF2 and prove a point? I honestly can't really state heads and or tails on that part. A longing is the most weirdest video, but will actually make the most bit of evidence a little bit later on. Alright. What about our next one? I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but because I'm too stupid anyways. But here it is. Strand-titty. Yeah.
I slept in the corpse of water buffalo tougher than you.
Okay, well, we know exactly what happened in entry. We have all the evidence right here. We have the scout getting hits. We know where they are. They're on the same exact map. But this is an invisible entity. Could this be possibly a spy? Could the invisible entity actually be some other character? Something else to mention is the sound at the end, where it's the sniper speaking instead of anything else. Could the sniper actually want these other entities to be killed? Are all the entities the same or different entities? There's a lot of too many questions to ask and answer. Something else to mention too is the fact that case scenario that what is the scout? His face is disfigured. His face is completely nonchalantly just destroyed. Is this the sniper? Is this a different sniper? What's all going on? Something else to mention is the fact that we just jumped down. Maybe this invisible entity is working with others in order to defeat the others entities. It's kind of hard to state. But at the end of the video, we even get this small little glimpse at a sniper's set of legs. And it's super fast. Okay, I was trying to actually get it, but unfortunately YouTube's like not wanting to work with me. But here's a little glimpse of it, and you can actually see it here. He looks away and then immediately just gets slammed in the face by it. Because if not, it's just gonna it's gonna make it really weird. So there you guys go. Just to showcase like a set of legs. Alright. Maybe we've got off on the wrong foot. Maybe we can capture it. Which is the next video. We've captured it. Okay, so we just saw some huge stuff here. The sniper is finally captured. Or is it? You see, something to mention is what character TF2 is playing as. TF2 is playing as a scout. And as we saw in replication, we actually know that the sniper actually has the entity of a scout. Maybe this scout that TF2 is playing as is the same scout in Entry and A Longing. Maybe this is the same idea that we actually get to see. Maybe there's some other things we're missing out on. But why at the end does the sniper's head tilt just such a way that just like haunts you? While all of these videos are very much important, one very important thing to mention is the actual biggest important thing. And that is Soldier. Now, I do need some help with this, and I'm actually going to showcase in the slides right now. There is a voice at the last couple of seconds of the video that I cannot decipher. Even with all of my tactics I've seen and used, the voice might end up being a clue for something, or maybe create a better theory. It's just really hard. Also, something else to mention is this will actually have a sound we see a little bit later on, but just note that sound for a little bit right now. Anyways, let's get on to Soldier.
If God had...
Alright, so I'm actually in the video right now, but I just wanted to talk about this because this is like one of the most interesting things I've ever seen. The changes, the voices, everything. But the ending here... I cannot make this out. I mean, this is just editing me, just trying. Okay, so what's going on? Well, the soldier actual whole thing is just like in decapitation mode. I feel like there's something going on with this red soldier. This could be the sniper, but we don't actually have a soldier entity as of yet. So maybe this is the sniper. Maybe the sniper can shapeshift into this form. We actually don't know, but the voice at the end is really compelling, and I need help with that exact part. Now, there isn't much else to this whole thing, and I wanted to talk just a little joke here. In the actual description of this, somebody said, Soldier forgot to update his drivers. Thanks. This comment right here is a man of will and power. And yeah, that's about it. Anyways, let's get on to the very next video, being the Google Docs. The Google Docs is just this whole entity list, and all of my things are right here. So if you ever want to know exactly everything here, this is it. Well, maybe not this part, because if I'm correct, this is replication. Yeah, it is. To mention, though, I don't think this bottom one was me, but this stuff right here is all me. So if you ever want to know if I did anything, yeah, I took like 3 live streams. Check out the live streaming channel for that. But something else to mention is some notes and all of this. The Google Docs is just a Google Docs of TF2's findings versus our findings, and yeah, that's the basics. Something else to also mention is Spooky Ghost's YouTube channel is a part of the investigation, so we'll have to check him out a little bit later. Oh my god. I have lost my mind. I'm going to showcase the actual video versus my video. And yes, before anybody asks if I have anything, let me pull it up real quick. Here it is, called Reverse TF2 Lover for Life. I'm going to showcase the actual video, and then I'm going to showcase the reversed audio of it. This way you guys can actually understand. I also have the actual thing right here in the Google Docs for people that have been wondering. And I also got something wrong that I will go in at the end of the video. So let's watch closer. Alright, so we have absolutely no idea what this states, but yeah, we have a bunch of black and not a lot of things. Something else I do want to mention is if we could brine the screen, maybe there's something there. But let's stop real quick and let's actually pull this back a little bit with the current and actually listen to what is actually stated now.
We've been watching your progress. You are closer than you think. We can get rid of all the progress, so be careful.
Okay, so I have literally just sat in this whole thing and gone from there. This is the actual wording, just so people know. It says, we've been watching your progress. You are closer than you think. We can get rid of all of your progress, so be careful. These are the actual words, and I was even told by a creator that I was wrong in my original theory. Hey, thanks, creator. You know who you are. Don't even start. Something else that I should mention up is in the description, there is also a base 64 code that states, what really is anything? Does anybody know? So how about we, and then it cuts. We actually don't have an answer to this, but we might hear soon. So closer is really interesting, as this is the very first video we've ever seen with something like that. Now, something else to also mention too is the video from previous terms, which is Soldier, and Soldier uses that same exact voice. So maybe these two are connected in some way. Who knows? One question I did have again was that Photoshop. Maybe the black background might have something inside of it. I don't have Photoshop, so please just take this with the benefit of the doubt and just give me a break. Let's talk DMX. Not dirt bike mounting whatever sport thing. This is an actual video, and DMX is something here. Hey, also, I figured out how the fuck to work this thing, and I'm gonna showcase it too. So let's watch DMX. To the 1, to the 1, to the 3. I like big booty and you cannot lie. Oh shit, it's done. Alright, so let's talk about this. Now, I'm actually going to go into the war camera because this is the most useful thing. So, remember this whole darkened lighting? Over on the left side, we actually can remove all of this lighting and watch from the point of view. Something else to also mention is this looks really cartoony for some weird reason. Now, I don't know if it's part of Source Filmmaker or anything, but I just wanted to showcase this because holy smokes. And the console, there really isn't anything to kind of state except for some other like important things apparently, but I couldn't see anything. And an unknown command, which is heartbeat. I don't know if that has any significance, but I couldn't find anything when it comes to that sort of stuff. And you guys can actually see I've done this like multiple times and blah blah blah, but there's a lot of like red and that means bad. So anyways, all right, so let's watch it from our point of view and actually just showcase this. So we can actually see that the sniper ends up walking down and then turning. And you guys can actually see that his motion is a little bit different compared to the camera. I mean, it's pretty on point, but you can see that the sniper ends up moving, the little camera shake, everything. The camera is represented by those lines too, just to give people that like little heads up. But like, we can end up seeing everything from his POV just a little bit differently. You can see him walk up the stairs, turn around like a normal sniper would, and then he goes, nope, I want to go this way, and I'm actually going to come over here because it's the most important part. So he comes over here, and something I just want to mention is he waves. We don't even see this. We don't see this. This is the most important thing I want to bring up, and this will be also introduced to the ARG channel of the Discord, but he fucking waves. And look at that face. The face looks like demonic power. Something we don't actually see in the DMX video is him waving. Like, I actually prove it here. Like, he's just right here. You see him, like, shake the gun up and down, and he just does not wave. Not a single damn time. He doesn't wave at all. He doesn't even attempt to wave. But see, here in the camera, we see him waving and everything. Like, I mean, holy shit. Something to mention is the waving part. Why does the sniper wave? Why is the wave so important to the sniper? What is going on with this wave? Now, I just want to mention this is like kind of between these two bits. He's just standing and waving. And then eventually he goes, all right, I've had about enough of this shit, and flies off. Now, when you follow him, he actually goes to a certain point and then the camera just stops. I thought maybe the creators decided to add something way out there, but there's nothing. And you can actually see how it just kind of cuts and everything, and then that's it. It's done. Now, some I do want to mention is the fact of key scenario that I looked everywhere on this map just to see if there was a secret, or if there was clues, or just something to give it away, and I couldn't find anything. And I don't think there was supposed to be anything in here, because this is a Source Filmmaker. There's not supposed to be anything. But I just didn't see anything of note. The only other thing I could state is the doors are open on both sides, and while that might be interesting, it's not too badly interesting. Another thing to mention is the fact that he does not do any other motion but this little shaky hand bit, which you can actually see constantly here, where he comes around and then he kind of just shakes the gun, and that's about it. Besides moving and doing all that, the most important bit is him waving his fucking hand. And I think that's the most important thing. And I'm going to see if I can kind of get to it. Where is he? No, he's just back there. Blip, blip. Am I going crazy? Did I accidentally reset him? I did. Gosh darn. The only biggest thing I noticed was the wave. And while he's going around, I didn't notice anything else. Like, this whole map is left the exact same. I thought maybe the underground, the water, and all of the models that we can actually see on the sniper are just about the same. And actually, speaking of those models, we can actually showcase those models by just clicking buttons up through here. And there's really nothing I can showcase because a lot of these things just don't do anything besides remove the sniper, remove a gun, or just add a gun. Like, that's about it. You can actually kind of see it. These three are the weapons. But as you can see, like, I can't showcase the weapons. And it's really hard to, like, move anything too because you can't. Something else to also mention is apparently on the some of the guns you have, like, this muzzle thing. And while I think it's the same because, well, this is the same idea, you can't change any of these properties, like, at all. And reminding you guys, the character looks like this when it's darkened. So I really don't know if the darkness is supposed to represent an aura or if it's supposed to represent something else. Alright, well that's about DMX, and I seriously spent way too much time on this, and honestly thank you to my brain cells for actually thinking of Source Filmmaker. And just to let everybody know, I figured this out yesterday, November 9th, at like 12 o'clock at night. So thanks me, your brain cells work. Anyways, let's get back to the actual video and skip this part. Alright, let's get on to the end of this whole part 1. Yep. This is just Spy Dance in reverse, and that's all I'm going to state. That's about it. There is also something else to mention is, and I'm going to state it now, in IE, we actually have the description. The description is in base 64, and when decoded, it actually says, the spy goes to the skies, I hate the sniper, he's the worst class, 2 OP. Something we actually saw in Spy Takes Flight. Also, in closed captioning, which we'll see in just a second, there is actually an order of maybe what video took place first to last. So let's watch this. Alright, so I want to sit down and kind of explain this from my point of view. I think the order of this is the story. I think what ended up happening is the spy first. So let's talk about the spy. The spy that we've seen in Spy Dance, the spy we've seen elsewhere, yada yada, the spy itself. I think the spy is Entry. If you actually go back into Entry, we actually see how that scout kind of runs out, and we have this invisible entity. Now this is just theorizing, but I'll kind of theorize about the order of these videos anyways, so let's do it now. I think the very first video to start is Entry. The Entry is the biggest one that actually needs to start because the spy walks down only to notice the scout come out. Then, when the scout's point of view, we actually see the spy hit him and he falls. We actually know what happens next because the very next video is Spy Dance. This is when the spy is dancing and he's excited that he's actually, defeated an entity like the scout. But if you guys look at the end of Entry, we can actually see the sniper right here, which leads us into the very next video, a longing. And with a longing out, we know what ends up happening. The spy is dancing in his area. The sniper knows that he harmed one of his friends. The sniper ends up walking around that corner, and that would be this corner right here, comes into the room in a longing, which we see. He walks over, the spy runs to this area, jumps down, and runs down here, staying invisible, only for the sniper to not catch up to him. And the sniper is standing here watching everything going on. From there, I theorized that the ending of this actually matters for one important reason. This is showcasing that the sniper can shapeshift into the soldier. And we actually have a list of heads here, and some of these heads actually look like characters we have seen before. So this one might be Scout, this one might be Heavy, this one might also be Heavy or Soldier. We actually know that these heads might be the deaths that the sniper has caused, and this is a possibility. Once it ends up reaching this video, this is the sniper jumping down and calling the spy a maggot, and with that, the video ends with nothing more but that. I think this is an order to represent what order everything is kind of showcasing, but I wanted to bring this up because this video is the most compelling. It starts off with the scout jumping out to just get hit by the spy. The spy is dancing and enjoying the fact with his friends that they defeated an entity, only for the spy to end up getting caught by the sniper and him running away just to wherever he ends up going, only for the sniper to call him a maggot for being there. So I think that's the order that this should be taking place in order. We don't have a backstory on the sniper yet, so I can't answer certain questions like that and all of that. Alright, and now that we got kind of all of this done, that's the end of part 1. I mean, seriously, that's the end of part 1. It's P1, and Now that we actually know this, we can actually go over some points that I want to bring up. This entity is strong. It can make games crash, make other entities, or even can shapeshift into other characters / entities. TF2 cannot stop this entity, as if he goes too far, he can get shut down or stopped immediately like that. The sniper is trying to do, or maybe say something, and we really don't know what it wants as well. There are other entities that can harm one another, plus the sniper does not like these entities, and I think entities in quotations is the spy. I think the spy is this invisible entity that TF2 put in the Google Docs, and I think that should be noted as soon as possible. The sniper can make noises and voices, but he can't talk normally. Maybe what I'm trying to say there is, kind of like in Closer, we actually know that he can't fully speak, but he uses words or phrases in order to speak in quotations there. Another thing to mention is TF2's friend, Spooky Ghost, doesn't really care about these said entities, something he will regret really soon. And on that note, let's talk about Spooky Ghost real quick. Okay, now in the Google Slides, this is actually like the second to last, and I could showcase to everybody this is the last slide and everything, but we're going to work on the call with TF2 Lover, and this is very important for the next part of videos that we'll end up going into. So let's look at call with TF2 Lover.
What? Hey, I was wondering if you wanted to play with TF2 or something along the lines of that. Maybe G-Melons as well.
That's the reason you called?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm doing right now?
No. I don't. Wait, the sniper thing? Come on, dude, you haven't seen it forever. Why are you still worried about it?
Because it's uploading video to my channel. It's still here, not gone, okay?
Well, just get over it. Uninstall your things and reinstall them. Probably, then you'll be good, you know? Like, it's simple. You don't need to worry about this anymore. Hell, you get just a new computer. That will be way faster than trying to investigate this thing, okay?
Well, it's interesting, okay? It's interesting.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
Look. Okay.
So...
how about you hope... that sounds good?
It does not sound good. Look, listen, I don't care about this. If you... friends with you anymore, okay? Just get over it. Alright? Play some Gmod. I know it's not in your Gmod. Okay? Play Gmod with me. Forget about this entire thing. Get a new computer. Etc. Blah, blah, blah. And then we're done, you know?
But if I get a new computer, I'll lose all my SFM files. I don't want to lose all my SFM files.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. Well, put it in a drive or something, and then put it into your new computer, so you have all your SFM. Ooh, simple, done. Just get on Gmod, alright?
Alright.
Okay, I'm going to stop really quickly and read this final bit because it's actually necessary for this video. At the end of the video, we actually see this kind of darken. And when Brian, and by Brian, I mean just looking through my OBS because that's what I've done every time. It states by TF2 Lover, dude, look, I'm not stopping the investigation. You got to accept that. With his friend Spooky Ghost stating, but you have to. I think it's taking a toll on your mental health. I'm worried about you. Now, that could mean many different things, but my question is, why is TF2 ignoring his friend's request for his own sanity? How long has this investigation really been going for that we don't know about? I have to kind of stop really quickly and state that I have been skipping over many different videos in this whole channel, and I recommend again that you guys go ahead and check it out in the link in the description below. Now that I've stated that, let's move on to the most important video possible, TF2 with Spooky. Now, as a reminder, this is the starting of part 2. Let's start TF2 with Spooky.
Doctor!
Medic! Ah, come on, man! Medic! Ah, come on, man!
Alright, so what is going on? Let's kind of run this back. TF2 and Spooky start playing Team Fortress 2, and while playing Team Fortress 2, they end up experiencing something of utter confusion. Now, I do want to mention one very key thing. I don't think the sniper is seeable for TF2. And the reasoning I mention is this part where he starts looking around. He looks in the general facility and then starts looking around like he cannot see him, or maybe the sniper is moving for him. Once done, TF2's friend Spooky Ghost gets shot, only for TF2 to get shot just mere moments later. How was the sniper able to kill his friend? Aren't they a part of the same team? But something else to mention is this is not the first time we've seen this scout get killed, crashed, or anything like that, which ends up leading us back to replication, where we know that the red scout has been eaten or at least consumed in some way to replicate. Same thing with the heavy and medic. Now, we haven't seen a medic at all, which is still not there, but it might show up a little bit later. But we do know that the heavy is, well, TF2. We know TF2's favorite color. We know everything. And why the sniper is in the blue base and not the red base is even more interesting. That leads to my theory of potentially having a defensive character for TF2. I wondered as well as a question if TF2's actual game is defending only him because of the situations that have occurred. Maybe some sort of virus or maybe some sort of control over a family member to TF2. Maybe somebody is actually controlling the sniper and is killing his friends in order to make all of his friends stop wanting to play with him. These are only theories though, and I have no idea. Why don't we move on? Something else I want to mention too as well before I do continue is he is back, but the time he's had about enough. I feel like he shoots Spooky only to have him get shot as well. Now, what happens to Spooky? Well, we can actually answer that. Let's look at the very first video that ends up being from Spooky that everything ends up going. Let's watch. Now on to who gets hit with this entity, Spooky Ghost. All right, so now we see what ended up happening. Something else to mention too is in the description. It actually states that he hates the engineer class, which makes sense because if you guys know who Spooky likes, he likes to play as Scout. Now, it appears that Spooky is playing Half-Life 2 when he sees the entity, meaning that now Half-Life 2 is no longer a safe game in quotations. And also, how and why? How did it move over to Spooky, and why was it now that it moved over? It had so many other chances to move, but now it moves. Why is that? Is it because maybe they're getting closer to solving it? Maybe, but maybe there's something else that we're missing out on. Now, it's only a matter of time until it moves to his other friends, and then other friends, and then friends of friends, and then family member, and then, goes from there. But something else to mention in that whole thing, and I just wanted to kind of showcase to people in the something else, the actual thing in the description states, I think this is TF2Lovers entity thing, but for my most hated class. So now we end up having the worst worst idea. This could possibly be the same entity as before, being his worst entity. Let's look at the very next video after ending up having a killed thing. Unknew. What the fuck? Now, before I go any bit further with this, I just wanted to mention that this red scout is the same scout that got killed in the last video. So we can mention that, hey, we know what happened to the scout and we know what ends up happening. The sniper is eating the scout. Now, maybe that's not replication level of stuff, but it's probably to eat. Something else to mention is a red spy enters frame only to attack the sniper. Now, is this because the sniper is trying to sustain life only for the spy to reversively have negative effects against him? Maybe the spy is the same spy we saw in Spy Dance. Maybe it's the same spy we get to see again. These are all questions I have but don't have an answer to because we are now in part 2 of everything. We don't have enough evidence to actually indicate whether or not something is or isn't there. On top of that too, this entity is growing stronger with every single video. So it's only a matter of time until this entity needs a antagonist. And here we are with a red spy. Remember this guy because it'll become important here in the next second or two. Let's move on. Alright, maybe our next video will actually have some more evidence. Now, SR1 is pretty interesting and has some important evidence, but as you guys can see, there's nothing here. Just remember that character I was just talking about. Okay, so we have a perspective of a blue spy attempting to actually take out the red sniper. Now, while this is really interesting, there really isn't much else to talk about except for this next part. After the spy is done kind of caressing his stomach, almost like he's hungry, he ends up walking over to the red sniper. But look behind the little pallet, it's the red spy. The same spy that ends up attacking again, only for the same thing. The spy ends up getting killed, only for the red spy to actually be an antagonist here and attack the red sniper. Maybe the red spy is there to prevent the red sniper from doing stuff. Maybe to harm it because it's done stuff. I mean, these are just questions, but why is the sniper killing things? Why are all these bots sentient? Something I also want to mention is this is a new bot. There has to be no other way that this is not a bot. This bot is set up in such a way to want to kill something, only to attempt and then get killed itself. And he gets removed. He just gets dragged through the floor, only for the red spy to come up out of nowhere and harm the sniper. I don't know. Maybe there's something about this set that we don't know about. Maybe they're both simultaneously helping one another and just playing along, I guess. Hey now, do you guys remember when I said to remember those questions from way back then? Well, we actually have an answer. Questions answered. Now, I'm not going to go into the video because there's not a lot, but some things I do want to actually mention is this kind of part right here. And these are some important questions I got asked, and these are the important ones I'm bringing up. There's one I do want to go back into, but that's just a little bit later on, and it's going to kind of relay into my theory. So, blue or red? That was the question asked, only for TF2 to state, blue, isn't it obvious? When asked who runs the channel, TF2 said, me. When opinions on Portal, TF2 stated, it's good. And the most important question, what year do you think it is? When answered, TF2 stated, 2015 almost 2016. This also might make sense because if you guys remember what year, there wasn't a bot crisis. There wasn't any of that. When it comes to actually having something, nothing was ever added or taken care of. TF2 might actually be a lot younger, maybe teens to early 20s in some news, but he might also just be a little bit older. We really don't know that answer yet, because this would be a kid kind of talking about it than an adult. If an adult was doing it, they'd be like, all right, something's wrong. Let me just contact, Steam support or whatever. But also, Steam support isn't there technically. So let's actually kind of sit down and kind of explain something I really just want to mention to you. And something is in the original video where questions were actually asked. And I wanted to go back to this, where questions were asked, and as you can see 4 months ago when questions were asked, something to mention is one of the questions was, what are your opinions on Valve's ignorance towards the bot crisis? And I want you guys to remember that I actually did showcase this, and I'm kind of being in the background a little bit. You guys can actually see it. I actually do have that right here, and the response is absolutely staggering, where he states, bot crisis, like the trading bots? What could they be doing wrong? And I want you all to remember this for later, because this will also be a part of my theory. All right, now that we got questions kind of answered, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Oh shit. Hey, I want to mention something. I am LayBaby, and I need help actually figuring this code out. Now, I do have a couple different things that I mentioned in the Discord, and you can find them still, but I went searching the day after writing everything on this fucking slide list. Oh boy! Now, I do want to mention that this is a folder for TF2 that you can actually implement into the game by just dragging it into TF and then going into maps and then just dragging it in and blah 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 and then do map and location. But I didn't know that, so again, I need some help. Now, this is actually the map, and I'm only going to showcase it from the slides point of view and then Team Fortress 2 so that people kind of get both pictures of it. But this is kind of what's in this. I also want to thank Bromine. I think that's how you pronounce his name, because he's the one that made this. I made a cruder map, but I decided to use his when he showcased it because, well, he might be a creator. But anyways, this is the map. It's in the box in TF2. There's no triggers, nothing like that. What could this mean? Now, I have a theory, and this theory is going to kind of like go off. I think this is a smiling sniper. To what, I don't know, but I think maybe we should go back through the videos and see if we see any sort of indications of a smiling sniper, or maybe the letters or numbers. Some I did figure out was this might actually state 5N-E2 or SN-E2. Those two we really don't know as of yet. And the dots are also really confusing, as there's no real good answer to kind of state that. So let's go ahead and actually sit down and go into TF2 and look at this map. Alright, so I'm just going to showcase this from my point of view so that people know. When you type in map, you can actually type in like what you want. And the map name is location. And once you click enter, it's going to stop the music and it's going to load in everything. Now, of course, it's just like SFM where you could do the same exact thing. And again, I'm just showcasing it just because I think it's interesting, because there's certain things I notice in this where it just really doesn't make sense. Another thing to mention that I do want to bring up, and I'm going to do it here, is when spawned into the map, there's also this just red dispenser and this red engineer. Now, I do want to state this might actually be indicated to Spooky Ghost's point of view, and I think that might be what it is. But I have to wait for the setup to kind of get down. But in the meantime, this is a map. And I'm also going to make sure I also implement SV_cheats. This way we can use no clip and I can showcase. As you guys see, this map is trippy as all hell. And as you guys can see, this engineer does not move to anything. Normally, like, characters would kind of like nudge or move when you shoot them. But like, he does not move one bit. So this is like a physical prop that you would add. Something else to mention is this dispenser as well is a level 3. But let's kind of talk about this map a little bit. because you can jump around and kind of walk around the map. When pressing pause, you can actually stop the map and kind of look at it. So when you do it a couple times, you can actually see there is nothing around us. It's just blackness. And I mean, that's it. I've looked everywhere around this map, even thinking that if I follow the sniper gun all the way this way and go all the way down, you would be able to find something. Maybe we need a clue or some answer. And when I asked if there was some sort of trigger or something, there's a VVIS trigger on this map that will indicate the color of the sky block. Great. Now, I did attempt to get this map up and running up on Hammer, but I was not able to, so I have to just go by the words of others, unfortunately. But I honestly would rather just do that instead of trying to like sit there and lie about it. That's probably not the best. So in looking overhead, this is kind of what we see. We see the photo of 5N, all 6 of those dots, E2, a smiley face, the spawning square, and a sniper's gun. Now, there is several different things that could be meaning this, but like it is pretty hard to kind of showcase everything. Also, hopefully I had an epilepsy warning because holy smokes. These squares are also really interesting as these are the only 6 squares we see in this sort of order, I guess. The spawning square has the engineer just laying down on the ground. The sniper gun is fairly obvious. But then my question is these 2 things. The codes. Now, this is E2 for sure. This guy is an E2, and I just want to showcase it because, well, E2 just makes the most bit of sense. Then when moving to the opposite side, we have 5N or SN. Now, I think this is a 5 only because S is a little bit much more rounded versus a 5 that's kind of sharp in that way. It's almost like a hook that you could create. You know, you lasso this part on with the ending of your fish hook rod, and then you just kind of go from there. So this could mean many different things, and I've tried sitting there and understanding everything, and I've spent way too many hours on this, but I wanted to bring up this map because, well, this is really interesting. And you can actually find this map for yourself. I've been on every single platform. I've tried everything I could think of. I even decided to fall to the end of the map, but then, you know, you end up just getting stuck. Now, another thing, too, that I should mention is when looking under this map, and again, sorry, this is going to be, like, really clippy. It could actually be in reverse order, too. But I think instead it's supposed to be viewed from the top point of view and not the bottom. So that's kind of some things I did notice as well. And I'm just going to leave it at that. All right. And that's everything we have right now for TF2 and his friends. Now, again, on the Google Slides, I do actually have everything here. Not in order for Spooky Ghost because I think this kind of works in non-order. But the actual order is Call with TF2 and then this. And then again, this will be my theory that you can actually find. But let's go over the ending. Alright, so that's everything we have. But let's now look back into everything we do know. TF2 is getting attacked, haunted, chased, and shown stuff he cannot take down or, well, we really don't know. The sniper entity is either trying to show TF2 or demanding stuff from TF2 in order to create a better world for him. The BSP map is the most unique thing we have here since we don't really know some of the codes inside of it, and some codes on the outside haven't been solved either. Some other things to mention is TF2 cannot fully stop or prevent the sniper from doing what it wants because it will actually harm TF2 and his friends. It could also harm them on the outside or maybe the inside. The spy is an enemy of the sniper and is trying to kill the sniper for food or maybe something else along those lines. And that's about it. This is the whole thing. Now, what is my theory for TF2 Lover? And this is where I'm going to kind of go back onto the channel itself. Alright, let's talk about TF2 Lover. Hello, this is actually me in the editing block because originally my theory on this was a little bit of me explaining how the sniper was actually the bad guy. And I still do believe that, but then I decided to throw some wrenches in my own thing. And then I decided to relook at the whole channel once again. So let's actually really, for realsies now, talk about TF2 Lover and what I theorize as, well, myself. So let's get into this theory. Now, before I go any bit further with this, you guys have to understand what videos I'm using versus what videos I'm not using. I'm skipping some of them in the Google Slides that I have posted in the link description below, but I am also skipping very selected few ones for this theory in order to actually work. So let me go over the videos I'm going to be using, starting with reverse spy dance. Now, I know that's a lot. It's like, wow, why are you using that video to start with? Because it's not only a bad thing, it's a good thing. Let's talk about the timeline for an instant. For instance, in reverse spy dance, we actually know the timeline. It starts with entry, ends up going to spy dance, then elonging, only to end off with what I'm going to call Mia for short because I'm an idiot and can't pronounce it apparently. So why am I talking about that video to start with? Well, let's look at a couple different key parts of this channel in order to understand. Let's talk about the Google Docs, for instance. The Google Docs has something that I don't think really makes sense until you start looking a little bit deeper. One of the entities is called the invisible entity. Wait a minute, that makes no sense. Nothing could be invisible unless there's a necessity of it, you know? So then I started thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. What about reverse spy dance? In my original theory, I had used the theory that the spy, the red spy, is actually a friendly to us. Well, I actually still think of that, but not in the same way as I once did. So let's talk about that. My theory goes like this. In reverse spy dance, we see the order of what ended up happening first to last. We still don't have an entry point of the sniper. We don't have an entry point of the red spy. We don't have an entry point for the red scout or any of the other entities in this video set. So I'm skipping all of that and just letting the holes fill as time goes on. But I don't think our invisible entity is just invisible. Okay, quote that. Invisible, quoted. I actually think the invisible entity is the red spy. Here's my thoughts. In reverse spy dance, we actually see the order. Why would entry take first and then spy dance? That makes no sense. And why is spy dancing in spy dance? Wait a minute. Hold on. We have the clue. If the spy is actually the spy, one of the spy's abilities is to camouflage or go invisible. Holy crap, y'all. Now, what is the rest of my theory? I still think that the sniper is a hostile entity, but I don't think it for the right reasons. Originally, I said it was hostile only to selected players, almost being like a defendable character or something like that. You know, it would defend TF2 for a certain amount of time. I don't believe in that theory any bit more. I think it's hostile because it's looking for the red spy. My actual theory now is the sniper is hostile to anybody it finds to be acting like a spy. If you guys remember, the old video of Spy Takes Flight ends up having one of the phrases that is constantly repeated. The spy takes the skies. I hate the sniper. He's too OP. And that is exactly the words that have been stuck in my head. Something else to mention is this is in 2015, almost 2016 for TF2. So my theory stands. If the sniper is hostile to everybody, that means the spy is hostile to everybody, but especially the entities. This is why in part 2, we see the red spy in a new actually attack the sniper. This is why in SR1, we see after the blue spy gets taken down, the red spy attacks the sniper. Later on, we're actually going to see probably a full-on battle between the world of spy and sniper in the vision and eyes of TF2, Spooky Ghost, maybe Texas Wrangler 21, who knows? But for right now, my theory is that the sniper is hostile towards everybody, while the spy is trying to stop the hostility of every other thing. Now, there is some other things that kind of get thrown into the wrench, like what about the soldier? What about the blue heavy? Does the sniper multiply? Those are questions that will be raised and will actually probably put holes in my theory, but I just have to believe in that because I honestly don't know what else to state when it comes to this sort of stuff. Again, first time doing an ARG, and I'm sorry if I fluffed up, but I fluffed up a lot, and I'm not going to actually, state I'm stupid, but kind of stupid. But that's my theory. The theory is really kind of set in spot, and it only works around the 2 characters and not other ones like the Red Engineer or the other sniper entities. My other plot holes in there is like, oh, well, why is the spy hostile towards everybody, but the sniper isn't hostile towards everybody? Well, we really don't know if the spy is hostile to everybody, or if it's only there to protect the game. It could be like Interloper, where it's a program protected to protect the game or protect the code of the game. There's a lot of plot holes when it comes to this, but that's my theory. I do believe the sniper is hostile, but I do believe the spy is the next hostile entity, not towards us, but towards the entity. It would also fill in the role of being the invisible entity, so we can actually make sure that we know that the spy is the invisible entity. Because if it is, then that solves all of the problems that we have. That's why the invisible entity can move from time to time. That's even why we see multiple of them, because it is multiple snipers that are around, or multiple spies, sorry. There is multiple spies around that can turn invisible and shoehorn a specific entity to death. That's why we saw the scout fall over, but we heard a hit sound. That would make all logical sense as long as we knew about it. So that's my theory. I just wanted to state this kind of in like 2 days, 3 weeks later, and this video is taking far too long, and I really want to stop recording, but I have to finish this video. But hopefully this kind of gives like a better viewpoint of everything, because again, this is just like, this series is really crazy, and I honestly still would love to have your guys' eyes and ears, the people who are a lot better than, you know, myself, Bug. I'm making an ARG video. Well, I don't know how to make an ARG video, you know? So anyways, that's my theory. I do believe that there's a lot of different stuff. I'm not going to try shoehorning like a specific idea, but my theory is that the sniper is bad. Spy is bad only towards the entities and not us, and everybody else is just in the middle. So TF2, Spooky, Texas Wrangler, and anybody else that eventually appears. Anyhow, I'm going to let the ending roll out because, well, yeah, I'm kind of tired right now. So anyways, bye! Alright, we're home. Can't believe we're home. Turn on the lights, make sure I get everything else set up. Alright. I remember this camera. I probably should, yeah, I probably should move that. Alright. I don't need to use the bathroom. Should I go to bed? Or should I, yeah, fuck it, we'll finish this off. Now, of course, I do have some ideas, but, you know, I kind of have to functionally use them. Alright. This is the end of the video. Now, before I continue any bit further, I do want to mention that I was contacted by the creator during one of my live streams with Happy Humble Burger Farm. And we had a nice little chat about the series, and I wish I would have asked better questions during the live stream, and you can actually find that still. I'm not going to link it, but just know it's one of my Happy Humble Burger Farms live streams at Buggerslive. That channel is already linked in the description below. I honestly want to thank them all for all the help that they've caused, because let's be real, I'm stupid. But I digress. You know, the amount of times I've ended up playing Gmod and Team Fortress 2 and never thought about a specific character being an entity, a specific character being able to control a world, to crash games, to all of that, it ends up making a little bit of a shine on me. Alright, I'll stop my joke. Anyways, I didn't really have anything else to put to this series, and I honestly recommend you guys check this out on your own time. For me, I think I'm done. Okay, well, let me get down for... Okay, alright. I think I'm done with this series. I mean, for right now, at least. I'm not going to make another one because, well, again, I'm not an ARG channel. And I'm now working on way too much stuff and not a lot of other things to really kind of focus my time and effort on. So, as an understatement, I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for actually watching this video. I really do appreciate it and everything else. Without further ado, I'm going to go and shine on you guys. Get it? Yeah, alright. I'm so glad the sniper isn't here to actually, like, harm me or... Fuck. Boo, I'm the sniper. I scared you, didn't I? Whoops. Looks like I went. Oh, wait.